So I took the cheapest hardware I could find, a regular Windows laptop, 16 gigs of RAM, a 4-core Intel processor, no dedicated graphics card, the kind of machine most people already have sitting on their desk. I wanted to see if it could run Ornith 1.5, a 9 billion parameter AI model released under MIT license, built on the same hybrid architecture we covered in the Quen video, with a training process that actually teaches itself to get better. And it loaded. It ran entirely on the CPU, no cloud, no API. Everything stayed on this laptop. So I gave it a real test. A Python function with 4 interacting bugs. Not simple typos, logic errors that depend on each other. It found all 4. And halfway through fixing the sorting logic, something interesting happened. It started down the wrong path, paused, and corrected itself in the same response. Self-correction during inference on a laptop with no GPU. But then the developer logged through a Vulkan memory error and the whole session froze. Now, not because the model failed, because the default configuration was designed for more capable hardware. On a machine where everything shares the same 16GB memory pool, it needed more room than was available. Adjusting a few settings in Unsloth Desktop brought it back to stable. There's a lot to cover here, so let's get into it. So let's start with the model itself. Ornith 1.5 is an MIT licensed open late model family with 3 sizes. A 9 billion parameter dense model, a 35 billion parameter mixture of experts model where only about 3 billion parameters are active per token, and a 397 billion parameter flagship. For a laptop like this, only one of those makes sense, the 9B. Now when it comes to downloading, I went with the official GGUF and picked the Q4K medium quantization. For those unfamiliar, quantization compresses the model weights so they use less memory. Q4K medium hits that sweet spot between file size, memory footprint, and output quality. The main model file comes in at about 5.6 gigabytes, though Unsloth showed the total package at around 6.6 gigs, and that's because Ornith is also multimodal, so it includes a separate vision projector alongside the language model. Now 6.6 gigs fits inside 16 gigs of RAM. But here's the thing, fitting the model is only step 1. We still need room for the operating system, the inference engine, the active context, and the generation buffers running alongside it. That's where things get tight. And that's exactly where Unsloth's hardware controls become important. So let me show you Unsloth Desktop, because this tool is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. The beta version is currently available for download, and Unsloth originally became known for making model fine-tuning faster and more memory efficient. But the desktop app expands that into a full local AI workspace. One interface for everything. Discover, download, run, train, and serve models locally. The model hub is straightforward. Search for a model, filter for GGUF builds, pick your quant, and download. That's how I got Ornith onto this machine. Now the system page is where reality hits. It shows exactly what Unsloth detected on this laptop. 4 physical CPU cores, 8 logical processors, about 16 gigs of system RAM, and the only GPU is an Intel UHD 620. And here's the detail that matters. Unsloth displays about 6.3 gigs in the VRAM area, but this machine does not have 6 gigs of dedicated video memory. That Intel integrated GPU borrows from the same 16 gig system pool that Windows, the model, and everything else is already using. So it's not extra memory, it's the same memory just allocated differently. Under the hood, Unsloth uses llama.c++ as the inference engine. Think of GGUF as the compressed model package and llama.c++ as the runtime that loads and executes it. The compute backend auto-detected to Vulkan on this laptop, which lets llama.c++ use the integrated GPU for acceleration. But keep in mind, the CPU and GPU are still sharing the same limited pool. Vulkan doesn't create additional memory. It just provides a faster path to the memory that already exists. A couple more things worth knowing. Unsloth exposes an OpenAI compatible API on port 8888. That means you can connect other applications directly to your local model. Curl, Python, JavaScript all work out of the box. And the agents section even lets you hook it up to tools like Claude Code, Hermes, and OpenCode. We're not testing those integrations today, but the possibilities are there for future workflows. And then there's the logs section. This turned out to be one of the most useful parts of the entire experiment. It shows the raw server output, actual speed, token counts, and memory failures. When things go wrong on tight hardware, and they will, this is where you find out why. Alright, with all that in place, let's load the model and see what happens. Alright, so I clicked run here. Unsloth loaded the cached model into memory, and once it finished, a green status indicator appeared at the top with the model details. Ornith 1.59b, GGUF format, Q4K medium quantization, good to go. So first test, the simplest prompt possible, hello, the model responded. Ornith is now running locally through Unsloth Desktop. No web search, no external tools, no cloud inference, everything on this machine. The interface reported about 1.4 tokens per second. That's the decode speed, how fast the model produces new output. Not fast by any stretch, but it's working. The pipeline is functional. With that confirmed, time for something more meaningful. So I gave Ornith a Python function that summarizes error events, and I planted bugs in it. These aren't surface level typos, they are logic errors that interact with each other. Fix one, and the output is still wrong if you miss the others. Bug 1. The severity filter. It used an OR operator between two not equal comparisons. At first glance, the logic looks correct, but at least one side of that OR is always true, no matter what the input is. So every event gets skipped. The function looks like it filters, but it actually filters nothing. Bug 2. Duplicate handling. The function correctly detected duplicates, but then used pass instead of continue. So duplicates were identified and then processed anyway. The detection worked. The response to it didn't. Bug 3. The sorting logic. Now this one's a bit more subtle. The original function sorted by device name in descending order, but the actual requirement was count descending first, then device name ascending. Ornith corrected this using a tuple key with negative count first and device name second. Negative count places higher totals first, while device name keeps alphabetical order when counts are equal. That's the correct approach. Now, one thing worth noting, the sorting correction was technically accurate, but Ornith did include its full analysis even though the prompt specifically asked for only the corrected function. So instruction following wasn't perfect, but the technical result passed. Alright, let's look at the numbers. Prompt evaluation took about 58 seconds at just over 3 tokens per second. That's how long the model needed to process the input before producing its first output token. From there, it generated 564 tokens at about 1.3 tokens per second. Total time just over 8.5 minutes. The interface also showed 124 cache hits. These are previously processed tokens reused from the KV cache. Not cached answers, just less work the model has to redo on the repeated prefixes. So look, the model is slow, no question about that. But it completed a meaningful bounded coding task entirely on local hardware, and that looked like a solid result. But then the developer log threw a Vulkan memory error and the whole session froze. Now this is actually where things get interesting, because through this error, we get to understand how memory allocation actually works on integrated graphics and how Unsloth gives you the controls to manage it. The default configuration was using an F16 kV cache, automatic speculative decoding, and a 97% memory budget. On shared memory, that left zero safety margin. Just one extra buffer request and everything froze. So let me walk you through what I changed in Unsloth's run settings and why each one matters. Context length. I kept it at 4096 tokens. Smaller context means a smaller KV cache, which means less memory pressure overall. KV cache type. Changed from F16 to Q8. Same job, meaningfully less memory. Speculative decoding. Turned it off. It's a speed trick, but it costs memory. And on tight hardware, stability beats speed every time. Parallel slots. Set to 1. This laptop is running a single conversation. No reason to reserve memory for sessions that don't exist. And then the big one, GPU memory budget. Dropped from 97% down to 80%. That 17% difference might not sound like much, but on shared graphics, it's the breathing room the entire system needs to stay stable. With those settings applied, I reloaded Ornith and ran the exact same Python test again. Same task, correct result, and this time completely stable, no crash. About 300 tokens at 1.27 tokens per second, completed in just under 5 minutes. Now these settings work for this machine, and that's an important distinction. They are not universal numbers to copy. The useful part is understanding what each control actually does so you can match it to whatever hardware you're working with. Now before I wrap up, there's one more thing worth understanding about Ornith, because the way it approached that debugging task isn't accidental. The phrase self-improvement gets thrown around a lot. So let me be clear. Ornith does not update its weights while running on your laptop. Nothing from our test was saved back into the model. The self-improvement happens during training. Ornith generates its own training tasks, builds its own evaluation scaffolds, and produces multiple solution attempts. Those results feed back into the model through reinforcement learning. The target success rate is around 20%. Hard enough to push the model's limits, achievable enough to learn from. At inference time, this shows up as stronger planning and self-correction. That moment where it caught its own sorting mistake and fixed it mid-response, that's this training approach paying off. The 9B model runs on the Qwen 3.5 architecture. 32 layers, 24 linear attention, 8 full attention. Same hybrid pattern we covered in the Qwen video. Efficient memory, precise recall when it matters. So, does Ornith 1.59b work on a 16 gig laptop? Yes, within the right expectations. It loaded through Unsloth Desktop, ran entirely locally, solved a real debugging task with 4 interacting bugs, corrected its own mistake mid-response, and when the configuration hit a memory wall, the fix was straightforward. 1.2 to 1.4 tokens per second is not fast enough for everyday use. But that's a hardware limitation, not a model limitation. The bigger picture is what matters. Capable models are getting smaller. Tools like Unsloth Desktop are making them easier to configure, and the hardware bar keeps dropping. This old laptop ran a 9 billion parameter model locally and completed a genuine coding task. A year ago, that wasn't possible. And if you run this model yourself and find something different from what I showed here, drop it in the comments. That's how we all learn faster. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another exciting AI video topic next. Take care.